Alright, so these are the batteries I bought for the Zap Xebra. They're 3.3 kilowatts, 24S, 37 amp hour. I got 3 of these guys. There's 2 right there that have not opened yet. Now, on this side they have the positive and negative connections. And then also they have the middle BMS lead, which is for this side. And there's another plug for the other side. On the bottom and on the sides is steel plated. This looks like a big cooling plate setup that's put on the bottom. So I'm going to try to utilize that as much as I can to try to, keep these batteries cool. But being I have 3 of them running in parallel, I shouldn't have any problems with any power. Alright, so out here in the front yard we have the old Zap Xebra. Getting ready to restore this thing completely. So for starters, I'm gonna have to get into this. All these bus bars are corroded and needing to be cleaned up. My Curtis controller though it looks like it was replaced. It looks pretty new. 300 amp fuse. Everything is all kind of just rusty and stuff. So I need to just kind of go through everything. I do want to try to change out all the cables and just put some new fresh cables in here, new connectors. The blower for the motor does work. I mean, you can see all these end caps are all corroded. Eventually I'll probably pull the motor out, clean it, blow it out, make sure everything's good. I'm not sure if I'll keep a spare tire on here, just try to relieve a little bit of weight. And I took all the panels out. Like I said, I want to utilize the cooling plates on the bottom, so I think I'm going to put a plate on the bottom and put the batteries on top of it, so that way you can kind of get some kind of cooling while I'm driving. Alright, here we are again. Got all the panels out. Going for a quick test fit. And originally my idea was thinking, setting my going across, but then I was like, well, maybe it'd be better to keep all the weight in the middle of the vehicle, That way less chance of this thing tipping over, having 3 wheels. But unfortunately to do that, I would have to stack 2 on top of each other, which there is, hard to see, but you can see how much space there is. There's plenty of space to put another battery on top of it, so regardless of whatever I want to do, I need to get this bar here cut off. This like lip, this part of the bar, I guess. And then I need to take this guy out. That way I can open up this entire space. This is kind of a structural piece underneath that seems to kind of tie into everything, so I'm going to leave this here. It's a charger plate, and I plan to use it for a charger. Might as well leave it. It actually isn't that high. The battery will slide right underneath it. And one other thing I got going on is check out that seat, huh? That is a brand new passenger seat, but I'm using it for a driver. Out of a Nissan Maxima. I worked in an auto body business for a while, and my buddy had this just sitting in his garage. Never been used. Fits beautifully in there. It's really comfortable. Alright, so these are the first cuts I made due to my machine. If you have a plasma cutter, I'm sure you could just kind of go in there and take it out. So now that I got those out, I can go ahead and actually cut all the way down through here, and then also cut this piece out and this piece, and then I'm going to leave the rest. Alright. Well, I knew this was going to be the funnest part of the build. So those are the only pieces I've got out so far. It's been about, about an hour and a half of just grinding and hammering and chewing through cut-off wheels. I think they're Harbor Freight cut-off wheels though. So I'm kind of smashing it down. It's starting to finally crack. See that? So I'm almost done, but I gotta cut and try to get that out. So I'm trying to trying to get the brake right here. Oh, where I'm at. Where's my foot finger at? Oh, there it is. I'm trying to get at the brake there. I cut it right there, but there's a weld right here. It's just really hard to get in there. But you can see right here, I took those pieces out and those pieces out. And then I left that little piece there. and you know, that piece is still there to be structurally strong. That's getting there. All right, carrying on. Oh yeah, look at that. So I left this last satisfying piece here that I've been hammering with this Thor hammer. Oh, it's so hard to get in here, and you know, you can't really get a good swing on it. So the best place is not really to try to cut it here. You might as well just kind of cut it off on the weld here. I kept running out of blades or wheels, so here it is. Let's get this last piece off here. Oh, look at that. Oh man, that feels good. I mean, it's like the feeling of going to a chiropractor, getting your back cracked. Like, get that thing out of here. Look at all this room for activities. Now we can get started. Alright, so far I've cleaned up these and put some new rubber ends on them. I'm also putting this aux guard on there and scraping it nice and clean with a wire brush. That's B plus on the controller. And you can see that actually runs down to right here, which is looking like the main contactor that goes to the fuse and then to the battery. So this should be the very first main click solenoid. And I have some new hardware that I'm using for the ones that are a bit too gone and rusted. But for the most of the parts that were in contact and sealed up are in pretty decent shape, so they're not too bad. Alright, so today we're going to be working on getting this passenger seat of a Nissan Maxima into the driver's seat of the Zap mounted. I don't know if I'll be reusing these or trying to find some other ones, but man, those things are pretty rough. So I took those out. I need to work on this window. It only goes up, down to about there, and this thing just spins and doesn't do anything, so I gotta take that door panel off, figure out what's going on there. And I tried to clean that little spot there. It looked absolutely horrible. I guess it looks better, but I'm gonna go ahead and pull all this out, try to clean it. If I can't get it clean, then I'm gonna figure something out. Maybe I'll do epoxy paint or something and just make it hard. That way I have just something there covering, and it's just that bare metal. Because it's in the right shape, I could rewrap it. I'm not sure exactly what I'm gonna do, but here we are. I find it kind of funny that they had to cut this in, almost like they didn't prepare for a door at all, so they could put that latch assembly in. So you can see there's some rust going on down there. Got some rust going on here. Got some ants and a bunch of rust going on here. More ants, more rust. There's like holes that you can see out of. All these gaps up here, rust on the top here a little bit. So that's the reason why I wanted to take this interior out. What was kind of really annoying was they actually put the interior behind the seal, like all the way over and looped over. So it's like they put the interior in and then put all the glass in, and you would have to pull the glass to actually not to be able to take it out easily. So I kind of tore a little bit of it, but you know, I had to get all this off. So I still got to get this bottom piece off. I need a new shifter boot, and then I got to take care of all these ants that are kicking in here. Let me show you the interior pieces over here. So there's all the other interior pieces. As you see, I had trouble with that one. That was the last piece I took out, and I was getting really annoyed. It's something like a you know, very weak styrofoam, and then just the fabric put over top. So I could just probably take this fabric off and then just reapply some new stuff. We'll see what I'll come up with, and then I can kind of just repairing the places that are kind of jacked up there. We'll see. I might just bedliner the whole inside of it and call it a day. So here's the bottom of the mat. Looks a lot better on the other side than this side. One of the mats actually stayed, which was on the driver's side. Yep. Look at all that. Bear with me a second here. And also, somebody's getting evacuated. There's just a bunch of ants in here. So I need to scrape that out, clean all this up best I can. But I think I'm going to go ahead and take that off too, just so I can get behind there and take a look. I almost want to just take out the dash and look behind there too as well. Alright, here we go. Alright, so this is the next day. I got everything all scuffed up, and I've applied the Ospro on there. Try to get a better close-up on there. You can see it's starting to do its job. It already looks pretty good in here. I'm going to do this 2 days in a row to really make sure I get all this rust. So I sprayed a bunch down into those pockets in there and down into here. And you can kind of see there's, you know, I get you in there. Yeah, it's not the best, and you can actually see I still got some Ospro in there because I went pretty heavy with it. But it's gonna be pretty nice when I think when it's done. I believe I'm just going to do like a white bedliner just to make it easier. And it's kind of more of a truck, I don't really need carpet in there. It's not a luxury vehicle. Just need something easy to clean. Here's a spot that looked like this here, and I sprayed the Ospro on it, so you can see how much it does. Definitely helps out quite a bit. So it's going to be seeing a lot more of this. Now over here on the driver's side, it was the worst, and there's some fill hole plugs. This thing used to be in a barn. Used to work on a farm. Sorry. Farm is the word I was looking for. Here are a couple of holes right there that actually ate all the way through. And so I had a great idea. I'm thinking of putting a clear piece of Lexan in there or something so I could actually see the wheel. I think that would be pretty awesome.